Fine. You know what? You guys convinced me. All right, we'll take a look at it. We'll see how crazy this thing is. It can't be that crazy, right? The Lego scandal keeps getting crazier, right? We got this one, like he uploaded like so many or so about it. You know, I know that this is the video or so specifically, but the only reason why I'm only like watching it or so is because, you know, he's blocking out certain things because I know for a reason, because like this specific business will go after you if you talk bad to them. So I do not want to get sued to oblivion. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm gonna let Mr. Moist Critical, um I'm gonna let Mr. Moist Critical do his thing and everything, just in case. I personally do not want to have any problems. So, because at the end of the day, the company did go after a couple of YouTubers because they were trying to look into the actual business itself. So, but I do want to see what this is about. There's like so much shit that happened in the past couple days. It's kind of crazy. But what is this even about? Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Just got up first thing in the morning, and I hop online and see that there's even more new wild information in regards to this bricks and minifigs Lego scandal that I've been glued to for the last like 48 hours. I know I've already made 2 videos covering it because it is just developing so fast with so much insanity to it. It's hard for me to resist yapping about it. And now the former owner of the bricks and minifigs that kind of kicked off this entire thing, the Powder Keg, has come forward to give her side of things, and she provides some evidence that is damning to bricks and minifigs. This corporation is just downright evil, it seems. It's like fucking Umbrella Corps. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just released a T-virus to distract us from all of their shady dealings in the Lego community. Now, real quick before diving in, I want to put something positive on your radar for anyone out there looking to upgrade their PC. At Starforge, we're doing a big memorial sale for the whole week. So if you've been looking to get
franchise and our life savings, along with a giant collection inside the store, which was owned by Brian Mansell's father, was taken by Bricks and Minifigs.
And then Reckless Ben made a great documentary about it, and it has blown up.
Just to bring you up to speed on the lore, these were the 2 previous owners of the bricks and minifigs, where Brian took his father's lifelong collection of Legos, valued at roughly $200,000 worth of Legos. He brought it to this facility, this store, this bricks and minifigs that was owned by them. They took it on with the consignment.
Wait. So wait. They own that store specifically, but then like, aren't they part of like a bigger business though? Doesn't the owner of Bricks and Mortars actually like control these people though? No? Question mark? I thought it was like a bigger company. No, I thought these were like sub stores for like the main corporation, or are these owned by like some like actual owners, and then the bricks and mortar thing just gave them the logo and advertisement to help them mom and pop shops for these.
And then they, the owners, made the decision that they were going to be leaving the country, and thus they were going to look for a seller for it. But Bricks and Minifigs corporate came in and kind of immediately kicked them out. Came in there, gave them the titty twister, and said, "Beat it, scum. Get out of here. Get out of town. You're not welcome." And they have on video Crystal here talking about like, hey, we have this big inventory and this consignment. What's going to happen with this? And on video, they confirm that they are going to be taking on all of that, including the consignment. They say that directly. So they were basically kicked out of their store, and they give a lot of information on that, and it seems like they were very unjustly excommunicado here from the John Wick Continental. And when Bricks and Minifigs swooped in here, these corporate zombies refused to give Brian his Legos back, and they still haven't paid for it, despite having his entire inventory and actively promoting and selling that inventory, even though, again, they haven't paid for it, and they were refusing to return it to him, even though under contract it is still Brian's Legos. They're just saying now, we don't do consignment, so that is all moot.
Yeah,
what you've got there is nothing. But the thing is, if they don't do consignment, then how can they possibly justify keeping that inventory? It would be, I think, by all logical reasoning, stolen inventory in that case, wouldn't it? Since they didn't pay for it, and they're refusing to give it back, knowingly. So, that's the whole mess in a tight little wrinkly nutsack. And now, the former owners are coming forward to show just how deep this corruption and rot goes within this company.
Dude.
A guy named Brandon Best showed up on a Thursday night and demanded the keys. They threatened us with the police and promised to do an inventory and compensate us. They said they understood there was a large collection on consignment and acknowledged they were taking that over.
Because taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment liability.
So when they informed
What?
corporate about them potentially moving, it all started to get very messy and sloppy here. So this was the security footage that I had mentioned in Reckless Ben's video that I was hesitant to show, but now coming directly from the source that gathered the security camera footage, I feel more comfortable showing it. It is very clearly in plain English. There's no riddles here. It's not, mumbo jumbo. They are saying that they are taking on the consignment liability and, that kind of stuff. It is right there. But again, if he didn't have the authority to make that decision and do that, then they should have been immediately giving Brian his Legos back when requested, because they didn't pay for it. They don't do consignment. Thus, they have no legal right to have that inventory and sell it. It would be, I think, by all definitions,
But then the question is like, if that's their Legos or so, can't they just take it back, because it's, legally theirs? I'm
stolen
like, I'm
product
just
that they are
saying,
knowingly selling to customers, and they haven't paid for it or anything.
can't
They
just
told us
take
the
it
same
back?
thing they told Brian Mansell, that we could fight them, but they would drag it out and make it so expensive we would be putting ourselves into a whole lot of shit. Their words. Here's their executive product manager and director of
What an actual
operations,
piece of
Kai
shit company, to be
McAllister, on the
honest.
phone with us the night they took the store.
If we go the legal route, it's going to be a very expensive battle for you, and it's not going to be a good position for you guys to get into. There's not a whole lot of options for you. If you want to go the legal route, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to be expensive for you.
How is it gonna be messy when literally they have video footage and everything? They have like all the hard proof evidence for them to convict them that they weren't the ones. Like, isn't this like literally just a shut case or so? Like literally just like straight up like easy win? I don't understand
so
this
why
shit.
not consider talking with us rather than leaping to this?
We jumped on the call with Crystal this morning.
And you talked with her or you talked at her?
We talked at her. If you fight this, then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat, and I can acknowledge you feeling that, because in a way it is.
I mean, we have no choice, correct?
Yes.
Sid from Toy Story here, Kai McAllister, on the phone, on the horn, directly making these threats. And again, this is the Bricks and Minifigs classic. This is their John Madden playbook, and they don't deviate from it. If you speak out against them, they will bully you into silence with litigious fucking iron.
This is the reason why I don't want to react to the other one just in case or so, because then they can't come after me if I'm actually watching somebody who's commentating about them specifically, using snippets of them, because that mine falls under fair use and I'd be protected. I'd be double protected just in case, so I don't get fucking absolute oblivion by this goddamn company. Because I can feel like, they're gonna get butthurt or so when you ask when you say your own opinions about it.
Fist. Or, in this case, if you look to try and get what you are entitled to, they will also threaten you with legal action. And they know that they probably wouldn't win, but they know that they have enough money to drag it out, bleed you dry, and make it extremely painful, stressful, and you would likely end up losing more money than you would ever gain from it. That is just the classic villain approach to shit. It is crazy how he's not even shy about it. In fact, he almost sounds proud. I can kind of hear like a small little boner forming in his pants. He's getting chubbed. Because he even says, I know you might...
I would love to see Legal Mindset's actual opinion on this, actually. Like, on an actual, like court case in general, if they actually have, like, 100% chance victory. Because, like it's just kind of like, they have the hard proof evidence that it's theirs. That it's their Lego set specifically. I'm like, shouldn't this be, like, a really shut, close case? Like, really easily like this? That's what I don't understand.
And it kind of is. Yes. Yes, it is. Like, that is Bricks and Minifigs. And like I said, their CEO literally has the cartoonishly evil mustache. He has a twirled evil mustache. This company is so fucked, it's unreal.
Notice, that's not some franchisee. That's corporate. They want to pretend they're not involved, but they have been involved every step of the way.
Of course, this was a nightmare. We were about to move and now had our life savings taken from us. We still tried, but this loss made the relocation untenable. Eventually, we were able to find a lawyer to represent us in Utah, where BAM is headquartered.
We tried to negotiate with BAM. Just as they threatened, they dragged everything out and refused to even offer a settlement.
I don't think there's a single human soul on the planet that bought the
What?
bricks and minifigs side of this story where they weren't involved, and this is all just the previous franchisees' dirty dealings, and they fucked it all up. It's their fault. Corporate was never involved. I think it was very clear from Reckless Ben's coverage. Corporate was very much involved here. They had their finger in the pie at all times. They were constantly in there fucking fingering it around. They were the puppet masters behind all of the degenerate, vile shit that was unfolding here in this whole Lego scandal. So hearing it from the owners, like,
I
confirming
feel like if they try to delay it, they should lose by default. In my personal opinion. If they don't go into court or if they try to make some excuse or try to find some leeway or so, they should be immediately like lost or so.
that no, corporate's been here from the beginning, and in fact, when we tried to, legally go after them, the thing that Bricks and Minifigs said Reckless Ben needed to do it the legal way. Which,
Yeah, I feel
again,
like this is gonna get boiled pretty significantly, That's the only reason why I'm like watching the commentating version of it. Because yeah, I can go watch the original, but I'm scared or so that the dude is gonna, fucking them specifically will come after me because I'm
he
a
did
smaller
win, and then they
content
just
creator.
closed the shop permanently,
While
by the
I'm
way.
watching
But
somebody
they
who's
also did the same
commentating
thing.
or
They
so
went through
about
the
it,
legal
they
way.
can't really
But
come
because
after
Bricks and
me.
Minifigs has so many resources at their disposal, they can just drag it out forever and then not even make any kind of settlement offer or anything. They can just
I'm like,
indefinitely
nobody should
keep
bow the mighty
fucking
dollar
hurting
when
you
it's
and
literally a
wringing
court
you out
case
like
and
a
legal,
towel.
like,
They've tried
fair balanced
arguments
court
that are
case, in my
so
personal
contradictory.
opinion.
They make no sense when put together. They claim they own the store so they can take it, and also that they never owned the store in between taking it from us and selling it to Brandon Best and Josh Johnson. It can't be both. They claim in their newest public statement that it's all our fault they took Brian Mansell's father's collection because they don't allow consignments. But they were always aware of the consignment. They promoted it when it was on the news and in the newspaper a year before they took our store, and the franchise agreement expressly allows consignment in contradiction of their newest statement.
So franchisee may also offer consignment services. I see. Interesting. And the funny thing about it is like this company is literally ruining their entire image for only 200K. That's it. That is literally, I just don't understand. Why are you trying to lose your store image? I swear to God, if this store goes down under and goes for foreclosure or bankrupt or something because they literally ruined their image, it's gonna be pretty fucking funny to see.
Yeah, to me, and keep in mind, I don't have the Sharingan of a lawyer or anything, that feels like the dagger. That feels like it is just case closed and kaput, and Bricks and Minifigs has been blowing smoke up people's asses. And most asses were closed anyway, they weren't receptive to the smoke, no one really believed it. But her sharing this, where it just does explicitly state, franchisee may also offer consignment services, and then it goes on probably to say, like, approved by multiple parties with that kind of thing, but they do actually lay out that consignment is something that is permissible given whatever other circumstances. It seems like she didn't even break any protocol then by
I know,
taking
that's what
on
I'm
this
saying.
consignment,
For
especially
200K.
considering when they did take over the store, they also
Just for
promoted the consignment. They
200K.
promoted the inventory
Nothing,
and
like,
sold
not
it.
insane
So then
money
now coming
value,
forward and
just
saying, no, we don't do that,
200K.
so it's all moot, it's all her fault.
And I
We did
assume
not.
the business itself is worth like at least a good, millions, if they own 300 fucking stores across, wherever it's located or so, right? And I'm just like, brother, you're losing your image over 200K. What are you, a fucking child or something? 200K is 200K though, but their fucking business must be in the millions. It has to be.
Nothing wrong, is entirely fucking delusional and is just a complete fabrication and seems fraudulent because she's provided proof that they do allow
Oh my
consignment
God.
services, at least in some cases.
It's
They
just
were aware of the inventory
200K.
through the consignment. They were fucking promoting and selling it, presumably.
That's all
And
it is. It's just
on that security camera footage, they even
200K.
had the rep outright say they take on the consignment liability. And now they're here saying, nope, we don't do that. And again, if you don't do it, if you don't do consignment, which all evidence seems to point to,
Even then, you can take that video footage to court because they're the ones who came in to say that they would be taking over the co-assignment of the actual deal itself. So that's already automatically got caught immediately in the lie, in the act. So that means they're lying. So they would have to fucking approve that they had to either return the Legos to them because you have the co-assignment and they came in and that's the original them owners.
Lying about that, but if you don't, then you have no right to be selling Brian's father's Legos. You have no right to that inventory. Give it back to him and pay him what you have sold. Pay him what it is worth that you have already sold from his inventory.
But like the CEO should be busy trying to find ways to make like, you know, to expand the brand to like more farther, you know, to more nations or so, or as in like, you know, across the nation to get more money. Why even care about this one shop that got like 200K worth of fucking Legos? 200K when your business is worth fucking millions.
You shouldn't even have in the first place if you don't do consignment. That is, by I believe all textbook definitions, stolen in that case. Bricks and Minifigs.
This will expand
this is
their
crazy.
business.
This is a very
They
big
already
company.
expanded
It's
it,
not
alright, to
some
be
like
honest.
tiny little bespoke company, you know. Bricks and Minifigs is huge. They do multiple millions of dollars a year in revenue. They have so many franchise locations across the country. They are not small. And now they have run their reputation into the shitter over this here. They could have paid him the money that it was worth and what they owed him from what they were selling, or they could have given him the Legos back. They have had ample opportunity to do so to save their own ass, and they refuse to. They are digging their heels in and continuing to shit on the little guy. Brian's father's health is not the best. That is something that has been known. And this selling of the collection was already something that was very difficult for them to even do in the first place, and they went with Bricks and Minifigs because they had a positive reputation. The community were considered the gold standard, and it's become a fucking nightmare for Brian, his father, and now anyone else who gets involved. Anyone who even talks about it now has been threatened. There was another group of YouTubers that also received
that's the reason why.
Threatening litigation from Bricks and Minifigs. This company is just untrustworthy, it's shady, and no sensible person should be doing business with them under any circumstances based on everything that's now come to light about them. And they're still doing it. They still refuse to admit any wrongdoing. They still refuse to give Brian his father's Legos back. It is just complete insanity from this corporation.
How you guys doing?
Now, of course, I have a link to the full video here from them talking about it. They also go on to state how they are still actively suing Bricks and Minifigs for everything that's happened here, and they have a GoFundMe set up, which is in the description of their video. I've got the full video in the description here if you want to go support them. They also mention that they believe that this will be helpful in Brian's case here, because if they win that lawsuit, they obviously will put in the $200,000, the value of Brian's father's collection, in damages in their lawsuit, because that is a big part of their damages. So if they do win that lawsuit, that will obviously help get Brian the compensation that he is entitled to from Bricks and Minifigs coming in here and face fucking him. So overall, just a complete mess, and even more new information about just how untrustworthy Bricks and Minifigs is.
Wow, is that how
it
you
is
greet
seemingly
me?
a complete disaster of a company that is just ruthless, like genuinely cutthroat. Again, all over Legos, by the way. It's just, and we still haven't even gotten to part 2 of Reckless Ben's coverage of it, where apparently he did go to jail for his coverage of Bricks and Minifigs. It's an unreal rabbit hole I would have never expected from a story like this, and I have just been glued to it. So yeah, I had to blabber about it some more. That's really about it. So yeah.
We're not done yet. There is still more to this actual topic itself.